You're now watching The Franchise on the DML Network.
Welcome into the DML Network. It's your boy Expert, and it's time for the next installment of The Franchise, which means we've had our first draft here in the Dynasty, and we got to go through these first 32 picks, give out some awards, and we actually have a first time ever double award going to two separate guys. That should be fun to give out. I don't do these shows by myself. First up, it's a Super Bowl champion himself, Mr. Tightwork. What's going on, Tight?
What up? Hey, that was my impression of my division champion.
In your
Shout
favorite
tone
voice. I love it. It wasn't enough West Coast in that. Okay. What up. It's a little more West Coast there, but I understand. Of course, we got the OG on the show. We do this show every single cycle together. It's the homie Taz. What's up, Taz?
What's going on, X? What's going on, Tight?
What's good?
I feel humble to be in the presence of banner hangers, and just thank you for allowing me to be here.
Man, you're an OG. And on behalf of the Dynasty, we would like a Hurt Locker episode at some point.
Yes.
Early in this cycle.
Yes. Expect it this season. We will be back this season.
All right, we got to say congratulations to the Packers, the Super Bowl champion for the season here in the Dynasty. Embro did an amazing job. It was a great Super Bowl between him and the Chargers, Mr. King Vitamin, and Embro just coming out in overtime, having a great game with that passing offense. I don't know what he's going to do when A-Rod leaves because he was slinging that ball all over the place. But let's get in to the first pick. And the first pick goes to a guy that is used to picking up early. It's Flair picking with the Rams. And he goes and gets the left outside linebacker, Mr. Bart Lennon. And tight work. This guy has all the intangibles. But is this a reach at number one?
As far as the Rams go, it can be questioned. But the player he got is a boss. Man, this guy can do it all. He's a coverage linebacker. He got speed out the box with 75 zone coverage. And then he's behind Aaron Donald that causes havoc all the time. So he just needed someone to clean it up. And this guy's the cleanup man.
Taz, is this a reach for Flair? Did he need other spots?
Oh, you know Flair definitely needed a lot of other spots. But I guess he set his draft board, and he got a monster. We can say that at least. At least he didn't draft a Rudy Poot linebacker. So
that's true. We'd also like to acknowledge Bart Lennon's career ended yesterday when he was drafted by the Rams. He will officially be known by only people in LA. No one will know who this guy is after today, after y'all watch the show. So our condolences to Bart Lennon and his family. But let's move on to another guy whose career ended yesterday, and that's with the Colts. And the Colts went and got Marlon Jameson, a right end. And this is a kid at 76 overall, but he's got 77 power moves, Taz. This guy, if you look at him, he can be a very solid piece there in Indianapolis. And you're going to see some film of this kid coming out of Michigan State, just wrecking havoc there in the Big Ten. What'd you think about this pick here?
We can go to the same discussion as we were just talking about, Flair and the Rams. I think the Colts had other positions of need that he should have worked with. And, he still got a hell of a player, but, he already had a couple DNs that, can hold it down for another season or two while he fills some other holes. So, great player, but, questionable pick.
Tight work. Do you feel like he reached on this pick, or do you feel like when you see a guy like Marlon Jameson, you can't afford to pass him up?
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Some players are just you can't let go by. But looking at his roster, I think he needed other spots. And now that the preseason is over and he's gonna be in the rest of his career, I thought he would have been better suited at defensive tackle with the Colts.
Yeah.
Because coming out looking at the scouting grades and everything, we compared him to Aaron Donald, rushing up the middle, the young Aaron Donald, not the 3-4 Aaron Donald, but rushing up the middle, causing havoc. But now he's stuck at DN, buried behind two guys. I know since he's a rookie and he's a number 2 pick, he's going to start. But I think he would have been better suited for DN, and the coach could have went somewhere else with that pick.
Yeah. So 2 great players go 1 and 2. Let's move on. Pick number 3 belongs to the Buffalo Bills, and we see our first left tackle come off the board. It's Josh Kyle, and tight work, 93 strength, Josh Kyle. This is a guy you anchor over there at left tackle and forget about the opposing defensive end, or this guy can play multiple positions. But this is a great pick here for the Buffalo Bills. What'd you like about this kid?
Oh, I like that. An overhang went top 3. You know what I'm saying? We got 2 on, 1 on defense, 1 on offense, man. Hey, the big bellies. That's all need to be said. But this guy was on my board the number 1 player in this draft, and It wasn't close. And he comes in, he's hitting development. So hopefully, not hopefully because he's in my division, but he might come out as a superstar.
Yeah.
And then he gonna lock down that left side of his O-line for the whole cycle. That's one of those infomercials. Sit it and forget it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what he did with his overhang, the big belly. Hey, the only negative on him is that he looked kind of skinny to be over 300 pounds, man.
Yeah. But he's got 93 strength. This is a guy that dominated at the combine in every strength drill that they did. This guy's pushing up the bench press. I mean, this guy is a great left tackle. Does he get lost in Buffalo, though, Taz?
No, I think he is going to make his presence felt. Now, will it translate into Buffalo winning more games? It will help them, hopefully, to move the ball better and score some more points. But it great pick.
Yeah, and I think this does help the Buffalo Bills. This helps the Buffalo Bills in multiple ways because now your quarterback can stand in the pocket. You feel better in the run game. This is a great pick here by Buffalo. Next up, number 4 is the Tennessee Titans. Strong safety Von Snow. All right, Taz, 94 speed, 95 acceleration at strong safety, at 82 hit power. He's got some work to do on his pursuit, his tackle. His man coverage is not very good. His awareness is decent for a pick, but at 4, do you like this guy just based on his athletic ability going to Tennessee?
Yes, his athletic ability allows him to be moved around in the defensive backfield. And when you take a look at the Titans depth chart now, it looks like they have moved him to cornerback. So this is going to really show his athleticism.
Yeah.
Moving from the safety position to play corner, because the Titans have Malcolm Butler, who's aging. He's 30. So Vaughn is going to step in, and he's playing right away. So he's going to be matching up with some of the best receivers, in the game. So especially in that division.
Yeah, and I was just going to bring it up. Tight work. Do you feel he went safety here or defensive secondary here based on who he plays against? You got guys like SJ. You got, of course, Addy 5 over there with the Texans. Do you feel that's why he went someone that needed to be able to cover for a long time here?
Yeah, he went in trying to find one of the best corners in the game that's in his division. He saw him 2 times last season. Like, I got to get one of them, but I like Von Snow as a player. I don't like the move. We gonna, because he passed up a legitimate corner to get a safety to try him at corner.
Yeah,
that's true.
That's the only negative I have. Like, if you wanted a corner, go get a corner. It was 2 of them in the draft worthy of top 5 picks, and you didn't get any. You wouldn't got a safety and converted them. Now Snow can do it. He's athletic. He can hit, tackle, his coverage. He's balanced, like a safety, but he's not gonna lock nobody down. He's gonna be in position to make plays, but he's gonna make mistakes because he don't got the hips for it.
Yeah, this is a guy you're not putting in man coverage and leaving him on island. Absolutely not.
Yeah, but the player is good. But I think this almost would have been my stretch winner only because
Wow.
he moved him in the corner instead of going to grab a corner that we'll talk about later.
And we'll see that corner here very soon. Next up, it's the G-men over there in New York. And the Giants go and get a quarterback type work. Sean Williams, not a guy I thought was going to come off the board in the top 5, especially when you have Daniel Jones. But explain to me why this USC quarterback. Well, why did the Giants feel like we can't trust Daniel Jones? We better go get his replacement already after a 1-year experiment.
I think he saw at the beginning of the draft process, scouting last year, he was the number 1 prospect rated on Mel Kiper's draft board. And then the 3rd game of the season, he got hurt for the season. And he rehabbed all year and came back and blew up the combine. And he felt that he didn't win with Daniel Jones last year. Let me try this guy because this guy's won every year at SC until he got hurt. But physically, he got all the tools you need to be successful. He's hidden, so we don't know. He might end up as a superstar with a couple traits to help him. But he saw the HBO show last year running around with Lemare, and he already got Saquon, and then he got a rookie that he worked on last year. He figured that he could do the same thing.
Why do you call that man Lemare?
Hey, he's French. But some people see him, they think they're in a nightmare, and it's Lamar with nightmare, Lemare.
Poor Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson does not finish this cycle in Baltimore. Y'all go ahead and write that down. Next up, it's the Browns. And the Browns up here picking at 6 after making the playoffs. And he gets him a free safety task, Allen Oliver. What'd you like about this kid?
I don't like it. I don't like it at all because I got to deal with it.
Yeah, I figured that.
It looks like he's moved him to strong safety.
Yeah.
And now you got, Allen Oliver, strong safety with 88 speed, 91 acceleration. 90 agility. This kid fluid in coverage. He can make all kinds of plays all over the place. Pretty smart player. I really hate the pick. I hate that he moved up and had back-to-back picks so early, but just got to deal with it. But, outside of that, it was an awesome pick. Great player, great pick.
You're right, and he had pick 6, but he also has pick 7, and the Browns go back-to-back after making the playoffs and felt he needed to get some help on this offensive line and tight work. He does that by going out and getting Lane Howe. This is a guy that he's going to plug in at that right tackle position, and he can also play guard on this offense. And he felt he needed this after a not really a bad game versus the Ravens, but he gave up some late pressures in that Ravens game that really hurt him in the playoffs, and he had to bolster this line. Did you like this pick after a great free safety selection? He goes big and ugly here at offensive tackle.
This might not be appropriate for the show, but I need a little lotion and paper towel. Because, hey, 2 fat uglies at the top 10, 2 overhangs. Oh man, hey,
I know you love these guys.
Anytime I see the fat boys going early, I like it. Even if they 55s or all, hey, if they fat, hey, I'm with it. But he already moved him to left guard, to help out because he want to run the ball. But with the 2 moves he made, he was almost up for the stretch in my book because he let go Baker. So I guess he's going all in on the 1990s offense's ground and pound because he need help at quarterback. I hope that Jackson can run around, but this guy's going to help the quarterback get a little bit more time in that pocket. So it's a great pick in my book.
Well, if you know his MO, he'd rather run the ball 55 times and throw it 3. That's just his style. But let's move on Chris Murray, after his tank season, he picks in the top 10, picks number 8, Denard Boss, Taz, another free safety off the board and another great free safety headed to Pittsburgh. Did you expect Chris Murray go somewhere different here?
Oh, of course. You know, we all thought, those of us that have been around for a while, all thought that old tank commander Murray was going wide receiver. Last time he was in Pittsburgh, he got that monster. What was his name? I don't remember. I just know he was a monster. So, we figured Chris was having flashbacks and wanted to relive those glory days. But, surprised me. Went with this pick. Again, another fast safety got to deal with in my division. But it was a great pick. Great pick.
Yeah, another good pick here in the top 10. All right, let's move on. Pick number 9 belongs to the Carolina Panthers and C-Rob. I'm sorry, not C-Rob. Hamiltop stole these Panthers away from C-Rob. And another safety off the board, tight work, Lincoln Luther. Talk about this kid, 89 speed, 92 excel. What'd you like about this one?
Oh, hey, I liked him. He was real high on my draft board. I like that he comes in with 80 hit power right now. And the Panthers needed help on that defense, just in the pass defense. But I guess he had flashbacks of Julio still in the division, so he needed some help. But hey, this was a great pick at where he got him at, because all these safeties were high on my board, and all of them went off before I got there. And hey, all of them are monsters. And I like that he left him at safety.
Yeah, I mean, if you pick a safety, might as well leave him there. Another good pick, and Julio is no longer in that division, but you still got the Saints that like to throw it. Deion's gonna try and throw it a little bit with Ridley still over there. But let's move on. The Denver Broncos picking the last one here in the top 10. And Taz, we get Terrell Powers, the first cornerback coming off the board. And is this the pick that should have gone in the top 5?
Yes. If the Titans wanted a corner, this is one of the ones he should have went and got. Now, this one is nice, but the one that gets picked later is way nicer.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, just having those two options, the Titans totally should have went there and, got one of the two. But, the Broncos got a hell of a player here. Plug and play. Get him in there, coach. Let him run.
Yeah, not a fan of his 87 acceleration. Still needs some work in man zone coverage, but definitely a guy that's going to help this Bronco team out. Next up, all right, Tightworks, your Miami Dolphins and your first round pick, Ronell Reedy. And here is the pick. Here is the corner that should have gone to Tennessee. Talk about Ronell, and were you surprised he made it all the way to 11?
Oh, very. I was very surprised. I didn't have him I had him on my board, obviously, but I had the safeties first and a couple of the fat boys that got picked before me. All of them was gone. Yeah. I thought I made the trade down to get one of those guys. But when they was gone, I was looking around and saw him there, because I never thought in a million years I'd get him. Hey, I wasted no time. We called him up. Hey, we love him in Miami. He's going to be the cornerstone of our defense opposite Xavier Howard and Mika Fitzpatrick. Hey, last year we was rebuilding. I think now it's time for us to make a little bit of a run. And Reedy is a big part of that.
Wow. Dolphins making the playoffs this year?
Oh, for sure.
You've seen that defensive backfield? It's crazy.
No stud-in. For sure. We're making the playoffs.
No fly zone. All right. We'll see how that works. All right. Before the number 12 pick, we got to give away our first award. So, Deion, roll that beautiful footage.
Breaking news. Today, unpredictable events have occurred across the globe. Who has come to save the day for humanity? Who is this mysterious, mighty hero?
Stretch Armstrong.
Your stretchable superhero. Stretch him 4 times his size. He becomes bigger than a building. Tie him into a knot. He always goes back to his original shape. Stretch him again and again. Stretch Armstrong. The return only from character.
Stretch Armstrong.
That's right. Congratulations to the Schemer and the Jets, the winner of the Stretch Armstrong Award this year. And it's because Denzel Marsh is a New York Jet. Taz, why is this the Stretch Award?
Because we are at pick 12, and he went and got Denzel Marsh, 68 overall, normal dev QB. When he had Sam Darnold and he traded him away, which Sam Darnold was a much better quarterback, and I don't understand the move at all. So that's all I can say.
I'm confused as well. This kid is not impressive. I got a chance to play him. He does have some good attributes. He has a very, very strong arm. He can sling the ball. But if you have a guy like Sam Darnold tight work, why are you trading him away to go get this bum?
Man, because Schemer gonna do what Schemer gonna do. You know, see, you got to look at the inside numbers. You know, the numbers that nobody else sees but Schemer, and you'll come up with why he was the number 12th pick. Now, let me stop. I have no idea. This is my vote because
I was waiting for you to sound coherent.
Hey, the Jets got an okay roster, but it's not good. They got holes, and you created a hole to get a first and a third when you had a young quarterback that would have lasted the whole cycle to go get Marsh. Nothing against Marsh, but he's not Sam Darnold, and he's not going to help his Jets team win.
Yeah, and you shift Sam Darnold off to Oakland, soon to be Las Vegas, I guess. And so now the Raiders, a team you have to compete with in the AFC, now have a better roster than you. I just don't get this pick. So, the Schemer, if you would please put Stretch Armstrong in your name in the chat. You are our winner. Next up, it's the Saints. And the Saints get another big, fat, and ugly. Tight work. Go ahead and talk about him. Rayshawn Stewart. This one's got to make you happy.
Oh man. Hey, this was a guy that I slept on. I like McCorn a lot, but man, when he came off the board and I saw the Saints get him, this is a game changer, especially after getting rid of Armstead, sending him to Arizona. He's gonna come in and fill those shoes nicely. He moved him and he left him at left guard. I mean, he moved him to left tackle to take over there.
Yeah. Hey,
I'm speechless, man. I don't know what to say. I love this pick. The Jets should have got it.
Well, the Jets decided quarterback was important at a 67. Next up, it's the commish and those Atlanta Falcons. Taz, back-to-back big and uglies as Harvey Cochran goes off the board. 6'3", 300-plus pounds. Talk about this guy, Taz.
Monster at left guard. 76 overall. I mean, he's normal dev, but that don't matter because this kid is a beast. Straight out the box, 90 strength, 78 run block, 76 pass block, 80 lead block, 81 impact, 77 awareness, smart, understands the playbook, jumps in day one, knocking shit down, busting holes wide open.
Yeah. Pick 14 was a great pick by the Falcons. Let's take a look at 15 because they had back-to-back picks here in the draft. And you get Deion Collins. And was this a necessity tight work when you got when you look at this roster and they give up Julio Jones? That cap hit, that salary was just a little too much for Atlanta to deal with. They got a great deal from the Jets where he knew he could send him to New York and Julio Jones would completely disappear off the face of the earth in New York with the Jets. And so he had to go get him a replacement. And Deion Collins from USC is that guy. 87 speed, 92 excel at 6'3" tight work. Can this be the next Julio Jones? I know there's only one Julio, but can he fill that role with Ridley on the other side?
This guy got the potential to be one of the best receivers in the league this cycle. I don't know whether it's skill or luck what Commish pulled off right here, but Man, it was beautiful. The trade away a high price player to bring in a rookie like this that you can develop over the next couple of years to be a monster.
Yeah.
And out the gate, just the numbers out the gate, he really doesn't have any weaknesses.
Right.
You know, he can. There's no weaknesses. There's no flaw about his guy. The only thing that you can say, you know, for the speed whores out there, is that he don't got 90 speed. But I'll take an 87 speed that's gonna catch everything any day.
Yeah, especially at 6'3".
6'3",
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
Man, hey, skill to luck. Hey,
And I know
congrats
you
to the
you
commish.
can't see it on the screen, but if you look at the traits of this guy, aggressive catch, possession catch, run after catch, fights for yards, covers the ball on big hits, balanced penalty. This is a guy that is ready to go from day one.
Hey,
And I think a
that's
lot
the
of that is we're going to compare him to Julio because he's replacing Julio, but this guy just needs to be his own wide receiver. And we'll see what Dion does with this guy.
one thing before we get off of it, the thing that we overlooked for him being 6'3", he coming in with 76 juke and 80 spin.
Yeah.
A receiver. Man, that's a monster.
Yeah. This guy's
Yeah.
next up, Tampa Bay Bucks. And this is where C-Rob picks because he's a Panther fan and he chose the Bucks out of spite. And he gets a big and ugly tight work. A lot of big and uglies in this draft, which is why the Dallas Cowboys traded a bunch of their picks away because we already got big and uglies in Dallas. But Cecil Boston, look, tell me about this guy. Maybe not the best big and ugly we've seen, but does he have potential to step in Tampa Bay and help this team out?
One of the pre-draft reports was that he was the best lineman in the draft and maybe the best overall player coming out. He's pretty close, man. He gonna anchor this Tampa line for the cycle, and I mean it's like the rest of the big uglies. Hey, are y'all guys fans of South Park?
Well, of course.
You know, it was one when the internet went down and Randy Marsh was like in the room by himself. Hey, I'm gonna mute my mic, man. Y'all go ahead.
Oh man.
There's no internet here. You got to go out west. All right, next up, it's the Bengals. And Taz, guess what? Another big and ugly off the board. Juan Williams, the left guard, going to the Cincinnati Bengals. And tell me, why is this guy your first pick?
My plan was to get some help on this O-line because I needed it bad. I had Michael Jordan, a rookie last year, who played very well, but I needed to get someone a little bit better. And Juan stepped in, starting left guard. I loved the way his combine numbers looked. He moves really, really good. Fits my offense really well. He's partnering up with Eric Fisher, who I picked up in free agency, and I'm really happy with how the line is developing now.
Yeah.
So,
all right. Next up, my favorite pick of the draft goes to the Pittsburgh Steelers, and if you needed a corner, every person that drafted a corner before Pearson Steele, you got the best you can do is the second best corner in this draft because this kid right here is going to be the best corner coming out of this draft. When we look back at the end of this cycle, we're going to be like, Pearson Steele was a gem that was passed on by 17 teams before the Steelers picked him at 18. Coming out of TCU, probably hurt him a little bit, tight work, not very well known at the combine, balls out. And this 22-year-old, 6'2", 211, is this a guy that is a lockdown corner for you from day one?
I'm kind of biased, because the Dolphins pick one of them. See, you take a shot. I feel kind of threatened right now.
It's okay. It's okay.
Hey, Mr. Steele is. I think he's going to be a superstar.
Yeah.
Hey, he's going to be one of the top corners in the league for sure. And the way that Murray throw the ball and guys got to try to go score with him, he's going to have opportunity to make a lot of plays. And he's 6'2", he's fast,
Yeah.
He's not great in man right now, but it's gonna come. Hey, yeah, I'm with you on that, man. He's good, but I wouldn't put him over my guy.
That's okay. And I don't expect you to. But don't worry, Chris Murray doesn't play a lot of man coverage. This is going to be a zone corner. But a guy that can make a bunch of plays, 83 jumping, 92 agility. Good pick here by the Steelers. Next up, the Super Bowl champ, Green Bay Packers, and Taz, another big boy coming off the board, Larry Palmer going at right tackle. What you like about this kid?
This kid was the combine freak.
Yeah.
Now I'm happy with my pick that I made, but with hindsight being 2020, I really choked on my pick because I had the opportunity to take this kid and I missed. But this kid right here is just going to be a monster. I mean, left tackle, right tackle, guard, wherever you want to put him on that offensive line, he can play it, and he's going to play it well.
Yeah, no doubt. Next up, it's the air raid offense there in Arizona, and tight work. This is your buddy Sweets 99 pick, and he made some moves to get some offensive linemen in with some trades and in free agency, and he knew both of those lines had to be fixed, and he goes out and gets Darian Watson out of Boston College, 6'4", 311 pounds, to anchor the middle of that line. Did you think maybe he was going to go offensive line still with all the talent that was in this draft?
Yeah. His team, he had too many holes on the line. But when he saw this guy there still sitting there, and all the ones that went before him, he couldn't pass him up. But especially being in that division, and San Francisco ran through it last year, and then he got to deal with Seattle. And this guy right here is a monster. He's a run stuffer, nothing special, but he got some power moves that he can actually rush the passer with. I like it. I like it for Sweets because he says he's going to score 50 every game, and
Right.
this guy right here is gonna help him stop the other team from doing the same. Because the game is all about pressure, and if he can stop the run and get a little pressure, you'll be all right. And I like this guy.
Yeah. Next up, the New England Patriots. And I thought for sure this was going to be a quarterback here at pick 21. I believe Tom Brady will be 56 this season for the New England Patriots. But he felt that back end of that secondary needed some help. So he goes and gets Ellis Morgan here out of Delaware State. Not very well known. 69 overall, 88 speed, 85 excel. And here's my biggest problem with this, Taz. 69 hit power, strong safety, not a great attribute to have. Did you think he should have gone somewhere different here at pick 21?
Yeah, he probably should have. This Patriots team, they're kind of aging everywhere. So it's one of those things where he could have really took his pick and went with any position, best player available at any position.
Right.
I think his existing safeties would have been all right to get him through, another season or so. So it's just it's okay pick. I mean, he'll be good one of these days, but I wouldn't be surprised if he maybe only lasts his first contract and then he's a free agent.
Yeah, and it's not every day that a Patriot owner drafts a Jag. But it happens. Next up, it's the Redskins, and Byron Jones laughed when this was picked. But Frank Curry, wide receiver, coming out of Oregon, tight work, 6'6", 227 pounds, running 87 speed, 88 excel. And I said Byron Jones, the cornerback in Dallas, had to laugh. It's the only thing he could do to stop from crying, knowing he has to cover a 6'6" wide receiver for 2 games next year. Frank Curry lasts all the way to pick 22 here. You saw some of his highlights there at Oregon. What'd you think about this pick, tight work?
Man, it's a travesty that he lasted that long. Man, how can you be 6'6", a tight end pretty much with 95 jump?
Yeah, it's not fair.
Hey, and at the preseason so far, he's killing everybody. He got 87 catching traffic out the gate. Hey, we need a rule for him, man. You can't be 6'6", 230
Yeah.
at receiver.
I'm going to put that to the board. As soon as we're done with this show, I'm going to let the board know.
And his agility ain't bad either for 6'6".
This guy can only run out routes and slants. That's all he can run. Out routes and slants. Underrated. Listen to me. Out routes and slants, and they can only be 3 to 6 yards deep. Out routes and slants.
And he have to fall after he catch the ball.
He cannot run after the catch. If he has 1 yard of rack, he is suspended for a game. I like it.
And look at the traits that he come in with. I think he got every trait there is for a receiver.
Just about.
As a rookie, out the gate, it's unfair.
Yeah, it's not fair. All right, guys. One more award to give away. But this award is a 2-time award, or it goes to 2 people. We'll talk about that next. Dion, go ahead and roll that footage.
As you know, I'm all about that rape, popsicle. I'm all about that rape, popsicle. I'm all about that rape, popsicle. I'm all about that rape, rape.
Every time that video is just hilarious. Every time I see it. But guys, we have not a 2-time award. We're going to give the Cosby Award to 2 people, and we'll get to Jimmy Alvarez here for the Lions. But Taz, why are we giving out 2 Cosby Awards?
So this is a first for the Dynasty. This is co-parenting at its best with this Cosby Award. And no, the Lions, T-Pain, you are not the owner of the Cosby Award.
No, sir.
But you are the victim of the Cosby Award. As someone said earlier, this was a Cosby gangbang. You got involved with trades with the Browns and then the Jags, and this caused you to just ruin your team and ruin your cap and get violations and had to drop it just chaos, pure chaos.
Snowball effect. You invited the Browns and the Jags over to the house for a little bit of bonding time, and they're the only ones that left with anything worth value because you ruined the Detroit Lions with these 2 trades. So SJ and Bruce, go ahead and put Cosby Award winner in your gamer tag in the chat, because you 2 are co-parenting the Cosby Award for this year. Congratulations to you 2 guys. I don't know if you 2 talked to each other and said, I'm done with him, it's your turn. But the fact that you 2 both royally screwed the Detroit Lions and T-Pain. But guys, just don't take this Madden stuff too serious. It'll be all right. But let's talk about Jimmy Alvarez. Tight work, a big, ugly, another offensive lineman off the board. I believe this is a record of offensive linemen drafted in the first round. 70 overall, Jimmy Alvarez. Talk about this guy going to Detroit.
Hey, before that, did y'all say that T-Pain was a victim of the bang bus?
Yeah. Yeah, they pulled up and took over.
Yeah, they sure did.
Hey, but I think he wasn't thinking before the draft, but he did pick a good player.
Yeah.
Alvarez, as late as he got him, come in with 87 strength, 70 speed for a lineman. So that means he can pull and trap. And he got good attributes across the board. He really doesn't have any flaws to his game. That for him to last that long was a lifesaver for old T-Pain after that rapage.
Yeah.
But the only negative I have on it, he's 74 lead block with all that speed he has. But that can go up. Hey, it was a good pick, T-Pain. But Hey, next time, say no.
Just say no.
Just say no.
Consult with somebody. Next up, the Saints, his second pick here in the first round, and Cortez Hepburn. Go ahead and talk about this one, Taz. This nice speed, nice acceleration, 90 agility. What do you think about this running back?
I'm kind of tongue-tied. Did he really need him?
Nope.
Like, why? Why? You have Alvin Kamara, 25-year-old Alvin Kamara.
Correct.
Why are you picking this kid? He's not going to hardly see the field. This is going to be a waste of a good player. I don't know. He'll probably be a free agent in a couple years, so
yeah.
we'll see his career flourish somewhere else later.
I mean, you're not even talking about Alvin Kamara, but you already have a change of pace back in Boston Scott there as well with 92 speed, 90 acceleration, 91
They're almost
agility.
the same player.
Yeah.
The only difference is that Hepburn is 4 years younger than both of those backs. But at 25 years old, Kamara is going to be your lead back for the next at least 5 years in New Orleans. And if we didn't give the stretch away already, this was up for the stretch award just based on the roster that the Saints have. He could have gone so many different places. Really felt at wide receiver he needed some help. I know he picked up Randall Cobb in the offseason, but he's got some really, really young guys at wide receiver. But Michael Thomas aging. Randall Cobb is 30 years old. I also felt on his offensive line, he could have used some help on that offensive line as well. He's got some aging guys, and then he just doesn't have a lot of depth there. And there was still some offensive linemen left. But we'll see. This is a division winner, and we'll see what he does with these Saints next season. Next up, the Chicago Bears. All right, tight work. This your buddy, Mr. Bus himself, Vlad Lashley, right end. What'd you think about this guy? Reach. I'm sorry. Bum. I'm sorry.
Hey, he's just a gag. He was hoping for something else, but he is a 3-4 DN. You know, he's not gonna put pressure on the quarterback, but he's gonna suck up blocks so his linebackers can run around and make plays. He's not what he expected. He thought, you know, shoot for the stars, land on the cloud type thing. He's gonna play him and try to develop him, and hopefully he can just be a good run stuffer for a couple years.
Yeah,
and knowing the Bus, he'll never hit free agency. Drafted in the first round.
Yeah, he's gonna hold on to this guy to the end of time because he don't ever want to admit that was a mistake. Next
He'll
up,
get traded. He might
get traded. That's true. He might get traded. Next up, the Detroit Lions have another pick on the board. Donnell Lyons, a left end here for the Detroit Lions. 6'2", 254, coming out of Missouri. Taz, 65 power moves, but he does have 84 speed, 86 acceleration. What do you think about this guy coming off of the end here for Detroit?
This isn't a bad pick at all. You know, Detroit had moved on from Ziggy Ansah. This kid right here has tons of potential. That speed, he gets his finesse moves together, his block shedding together, and he's going to be nice coming off that end right there. He needs to hit the weight room. The trainers need to help him. He only has 74 strength, but hopefully he's fast enough that he can deal with some of these big boys that got drafted.
Yeah. And he also is a hidden trait. So he may be superstar capable. This may be a really good pick here.
Yeah.
Especially all the way down here at pick 26. Next up, the 49ers at pick 27. And here's one of those guys that should have already been picked. Trey Price here, tight work. What'd you like about this kid going to San Francisco?
He's a big ugly.
He most definitely is.
My overhand guys. You know, hey, he comes in. He was one of the stronger guys in the draft. Comes in with 93 strength. He showed that running game last year, so this guy right here is going to add to it. He got backs. All he just needed was the big uglies in front of him, open up more holes. And I think he's going to be a force for his division. And one of the best things about it, because he felt it in that playoff game versus Packers, he didn't have anyone to block finesse guys coming off the edge.
Yeah.
And this guy comes in with 80 finesse move. So he's going to get a little bit more time to throw the ball. I like it. And he's strong. I wish he was a little bit faster. He got 67 speed. But other than that, hey, this was a great pick.
Yep. Good pick here to a good user that's going to be there in the end quite some time. Expect to see those Cardinals up there competing with him this year. Next up, the Philadelphia Eagles go and get a cornerback in Will Matthews coming out of Alabama. And Taz, how is this guy still on the board at pick number 28?
Just because some of the questionable picks that we've seen before. But this was another good player that probably should have went somewhere else, and the Eagles should have also went somewhere else with this pick. I mean, this kid's going to be buried in this depth chart with all his 50,000 cornerbacks that he has.
Correct.
So, again, like I've already said a few times, this is a kid who, towards the end of his rookie contract, I'm going to be looking for him on the trade block or in free agency. One of the two.
Somebody from this secondary is going to be available very, very soon. You got Ronald Darby. You got Sidney Jones. You got Avonte Maddox. You got Cravon LeBlanc. I mean, the list goes on and on. And if you look at the depth chart here for the Philadelphia Eagles, Will Matthews, 6th out of 7. That should tell you all you need to know. So if you need a cornerback, Puglisi's number is, yeah, you just hit Puglisi up in his DM. He has a cornerback for every team in the NFC if you need one. So this is the guy you want to hit. Next up, Bengals have another pick, Taz.
Yeah.
Taz, talk about Kamani Little.
This could have been a reach. Big time reach.
Couldn't have been. It's a reach.
But he has talent, but it's one of those things that I would have definitely taken the Stretch Armstrong award if I hadn't have picked up Eric Fisher in free agency, because I would have drafted this kid, hoping to put him in the starting spot, and I would have been truly disappointed. But he has a good foundation. He's going to learn behind Fisher. He got challenged against the Chargers in preseason.
Yeah.
He saw some really good elite pass rushers, and he did decently. So in a few years, he's going to pay out. So I'm happy with him.
All right. Next up, it's the Jags, Mr. SJ, and he gets a strong safety. Carl Wooten, tight work, 90 speed, 92 excel. This is typical as we get to the end of the first round to see some guys like this at that 68, 69 level going to some of these teams tight.
Oh yeah. I like what they did with the draft, and it's a good pick. Well, I can't even say that. I think it's a Jag. He's fast. He can hit, but SJ know how to develop players. And then with the pieces that he got on defense, it shouldn't be that difficult. But hey, this late in the first round to get a guy that's 69 overall, 71 man, 80 hit power is good. But like a lot of these other guys, we're gonna be looking for him in 4 years in free agency
or sooner.
Yeah, Carl Wooten has been moved to free safety, and he is last on the depth chart there in Jacksonville. As Tracy Walker expects to be the starting free safety, and Ronnie Harrison expected to be the starting strong safety. Did not like this pick. I felt they had some good spots there, especially in that back of that secondary, and needed some help in other places. All right, next up, the Super Bowl runner-up here. It's the Chargers, and he bolsters this defensive line up a little bit better. Joey Drummond and Taz, you got a chance to play these guys. Do you remember Drummond playing, or is this a guy that's lost in this amazing defensive front that he already has?
This kid is going to be lost a little bit. The good thing, he's going to be learning from some of the best. So he'll be able to develop, and in a few years, he'll probably be traded away, or I'm not going to say free agency, because I think Vitamin's going to definitely develop him, and he'll probably trade him. But for now, he's just going to have to sit back and watch.
Yeah, very good defensive front there in San Diego. They'll always be the San Diego Chargers to me. In LA with the Chargers, especially when you got Bosa on one side. Hard to take away from that squad that he has there. Tillery in the middle, and he's got Melvin Ingram still playing out there at 31 years old. All right, last pick here in the first round. And it's the Super Bowl champion Green Bay Packers, and Nolan Arnaud. And tight work. You get the last one. Talk about this kid going 32nd here to the Packers.
It was a good pick. You know, he didn't overdraft, and to get a 74 overall at pick number 32.
Yeah.
I think the plan was to build his receiving core before Rodgers leaves, so the new quarterback that step in has weapons. And so this guy's gonna sit. He's gonna be the number 3 or 4 receiver for a while as he develops, but he'll be ready once Rodgers leaves to take over, because Adams' tenure with the Packers is running out. So they're gonna need a number 1, and I think about time they let him go and run out of money to hold on to him. Hey, he got his number 1 receiver.
Well, this is just Randall Cobb in a younger body is all this is. You got Devontae Adams. You still got Marquez Valdez-Scantling, 6'4", 200-pound wide receiver that can just flat out run. And then you bring in Arnold out of Vanderbilt. That's 5'11". He's 200 pounds. He's big for 5'11". But this is a 90 speed, 93 excel. But you're talking about attributes all over the place to be picked last in the draft. This is why some guys are Super Bowl champion contenders every single season, because they draft well every single year, no matter where they are. We saw it last cycle in Addy 5. We're now seeing it with Embro here with the Packers. This is a great pick at pick 32. And it's frustrating for some of those guys that are trying to compete with Green Bay in that NFC North. I know those guys are not excited that Nolan lasted all the way to 32. But those are the first round picks here in the Dynasty. And it's the first season, a great first season we had in the Dynasty as we adjust to Madden 20. All right, Taz, what are you looking for this upcoming year for those Cincinnati Bengals?
Looking for this new look offensive line to gel and keep Andy Dalton off his back a lot better than season 1. My young receiving core, looking for them to develop a little bit more. And then my veteran guys just step up and let's keep it rolling.
Yeah. All right, tight work. What about those Miami Dolphins? After a dismal season to your standards, tight work, what can we expect in Miami and South Beach this year?
The rebuilding has started. We done took our team from a 63 overall, and now we are 73.
Nice.
We got a lot of young pieces that's developing. Last season, with one of the worst teams in the game, we've had a shot at the playoffs, but couldn't overtake Mr. Brady. But I think this is the year that we get over the hump. So I already won my division. If it's not this year, for sure next year, we win in the East.
Wow. Mark it down. Patriots, Buffalo, Jets. The Dolphins are winning the East. If not this year, but every year after that. I like to hear it. I didn't realize this until I listened to Numbers Don't Lie. And guys, if you have not seen the new episode of Numbers Don't Lie, Make sure you check that out here on the DML Network. Like that video, put a comment down. Tight Work, The Bus, and Sweets 99 do a great job on that show. But the first time in Dynasty history, the three of you, not one of you guys made the playoffs.
Yep. None of them.
I never would have guessed that that happened. You know, we're so used to seeing Sweets and Bus that competing there in the NFC, and then you over there in the AFC hanging banners. Was shocking to see that none of you guys made the playoffs. I expect that to be completely flipped this year, and those three guys will find a way to make it into the playoffs. You know, all three of you have a tough road to go, but we'll see. Of course, in Dallas, Jason Garrett out, Adam Gase in the Jets offense, averaging 45 plus points a game in the preseason.
Wow.
Yeah. New style offense. It's called turn around and hand the ball to 21. The owners.
Wasn't that the old offense also?
Correct. That was the old offense. It just doesn't have Jason Garrett clapping on the sidelines.
I got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
How's the Cowboys adjusting to that 3-4 defense?
The Cowboys are shutting it down. I'm just letting y'all know. I needed the 3-4 before the season started last year, and I told Jason Garrett, you know, I wanted to be honest with him as the GM and just let him know, listen, you either win the Super Bowl or don't get on the bus after your last game that you lose. And he tried to get on the bus still, but he found a new home. He's coaching in the NFL. We wish Jason Garrett all the luck in the world. He just couldn't get it done in Dallas. We'll move on. But tight work, Taz. Appreciate y'all jumping on the franchise. Always a pleasure when I get to do a show with some of the best guys here in the Dynasty.
All right. Thank you, sir. Appreciate being here.
All right, guys. On behalf of the DML Network, shout out to the homie Nasty Noob, a.k.a. Dion, always making sure these graphics and we look good here on these shows. But on behalf of the DML Network, it's your boy Expert, and we out.
The Dynasty Madden League grind in 365.